It's a move that's got internet privacy advocates very concerned. The U.S. Senate has voted to kill a set of Obama-era rules requiring internet service providers to do more to protect customers' data. The measure is also expected to be passed in the House of Representatives tomorrow, and President Trump is expected to sign it. Nick Thompson is a CBS News contributor and editor-in-chief of Wired magazine. Nick, what would these rules have done that now the Senate has decided will not go into effect?
So what happened is that last year, Obama's FCC said, you know what, we need to protect the data that your ISPs have. Your ISP is the company like Time Warner or Charter or Cox that has all of the information flowing from your computers over the pipe. So they have everything. Everything you type into your computer, everything that you transmit through the devices in your home is on your ISPs. Generally, you do not have a lot of choice on your ISPs. You're locked into using Verizon or Time Warner Cable or whatever. So what the Obama-era FCC said is, wait, if these guys are going to take all your data, all the sensitive information, and sell it to advertisers, they need to get your consent before they do it. If all of your private information is going to be taken and sold, you need to agree to that. And so the FCC passed that, and now Congress is saying, you know what, let's get rid of that. And not only let's get rid of that, let's pass a law that makes it impossible for the FCC to do the same thing again.
Because that's part of this law. By pulling this back, the FCC can no longer implement rules that would have done the same thing.
I know. At first, I just thought, okay, we're going to have a conservative FCC in. They're very close to the telecom companies. They're very close to the ISP lobbyists. Those lobbyists are very powerful. The FCC will just reverse it. Now it's gone one step further. It's not just the FCC reversing it. It's Congress reversing it, and Congress saying you can't do it again.
Now, as we look at the votes in the Senate, it was pretty much along party lines. This is expected to pass in the House as well, and President Trump to sign it. What does that tell you about what people understand? Because the implications for this are far-reaching.
It tells me that people don't understand a darn thing. If it's being passed completely on party line votes, it means the Senate has not paid attention and Congress has not paid attention. You can make arguments for it, you can make arguments against it. Internet privacy is complicated, but it should break. It should break not just Republicans versus Democrats. It should be some Republicans supporting it, some Democrats opposing it. It should break on regional lines. There's a lot of complexity, and the fact that it's a simple party line vote suggests that the reps are just signing off on it like it's some, rulemaking order.
So what type of data are we talking about? Because typically progressive Democrats, libertarian Republicans agree on having privacy, on knowing who's taking your information. What type of information does this include?
Everything. I mean, that's the crazy thing about it.
What you search, your search history, images that perhaps you're uploading, downloading from your broadband provider.
I mean, you can take steps to protect yourself, but basically, your broadband provider knows everything that you type onto your computer and all the information that is transmitted over those wires. And there are some regulations that protect a little bit of what they can sell, but basically what Congress is saying is, look, we want these guys to be able to make more money. They can make a lot of money if they sell your information, so let's let them sell your information.
And those who support this legislation will say, well, hang on a minute, Google, Facebook already do these things. They already track your GPS location, listen in perhaps through your microphone, look through your camera perhaps to improve, how the quality of the product. What do you say to that argument that this is already happening?
Sure, I would say it's already happening. And let's regulate Google and Facebook. Let's say you have to opt in to have them sell your data, right? Instead of saying, well, we have real regulations on the ISPs and we don't have particularly tough regulations on the edge providers, Google and Facebook, you could say, well, let's make it all match. But let's be tough on everybody. Let's let people have control of their privacy at every level of the internet, instead of stripping away the one place where it's actually been put into place. Now, the second argument you could make is that Facebook and Google are a little bit different. Particularly in the case of Facebook, you don't have to use it. You do have to use your ISP. You do have to use one of 2 or 3 companies, usually in your district. So they should be regulated a little more firmly than Facebook and Google are, though Facebook and Google are fairly close to monopolies as well. So they deserve particular scrutiny, too.
But that's where this regulation came from. It was trying to regulate this utility of broadband internet because everybody needs it. Now, with Congress seeming to step back on this issue, you do have other states like Illinois. They've passed a right to know bill. Other states perhaps could follow suit. California, Connecticut, updating their laws, restricting what the government itself can access to email. Where is the forefront of this fight? Is it states like California and others who have their own laws, and it will be a state-by-state issue that people will have to lobby locally for?
It will become a state-by-state issue. Presuming that Congress does pass this tomorrow, that there isn't mass outrage or mass education, and Congress sort of steps back and gives it a more comprehensive hearing, I think you will have states fighting against it. But effectively, most of the power on this is in Washington, and Washington is doing something pretty dramatic.
Outside of that, what should the average consumer do as this happens?
Well, the average consumer should take a whole bunch of steps. We're going to write about them. In fact, in Wired Magazine tomorrow, we will have a list of steps that you can take to protect your data, the ways you can opt out of being tracked. Privacy is very complicated. You're tracked on your phone, you're tracked on your browsers, you're tracked through your ISPs. At each of those different levels, you can do certain things to protect your privacy. If that is something that concerns you, you should take those steps, and we will outline them all for you. But the number one thing is become educated and become aware about what information of yours is being shared by the companies, and then look. And there are all sorts of like help guides on the internet that can help you understand how to opt out.
And they're useful. Look, my heart goes out to those on the other side of the digital divide. People saying, well, what do you mean you can track my search history in the first place? Check out Wired. You'll explain what to do if you're in that situation. Nick Thompson, great to chat with you.
Great to be here. Thanks so much.